In this issue, we will be covering issue 3 of Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. Picking back up from where we left off at the end of issue 2, where Doctor Strange and the various unified heroes and villains managing to push Godzilla back into a portal, trapping him in the Astral Plane, Godzilla goes on a rampage that lasts for decades, taking out many ancient demons before coming face to face with Dormammu himself, arch nemesis of Doctor Strange. Believing that Godzilla was sent as a messenger from Doctor Strange, Godzilla just punches him in the face and atomic breaths him. Quickly being overwhelmed, he teleports Godzilla back to the Earth realm at the exact same time he left, but ending up in a different place at the island nation of Madripoor. Yeah, going off the Versus wiki, since Dormammu's apparently only multiversal level, that's like nothing compared to the Outerverse level this Godzilla likely is. And it's here in this panel that once again I gotta question Godzilla's actual size, since he looks quite small here, looking like he might only be around the 50-meter height range. But then again, this is Marvel Godzilla we're talking about. Consistent height has never been his forte. Wolverine, seeing this, summons the X-Men, and 6 minutes later they jump into action, with Professor X attempting to calm Godzilla's mind using telepathy. Wolverine attempts to stab into Godzilla with his adamantium claws, and while he's certainly able to puncture at least part of his hide, apparently Godzilla's healing factor is even faster than his, which is kind of a big deal, though I always thought that Deadpool had a better healing factor than Wolverine, but then again, Deadpool also has cancer, so what do I know? I don't know, maybe Wolverine has a better healing factor than Deadpool, I'm not 100% sure on that. But then Magneto shows up and then turns Wolverine into a living drill as he sends him flying right into Godzilla's chest. This at the very least seems to cause him to fall down, but he quickly retaliates by just firing his atomic breath, which seems to overpower Magneto's force field, and also sends Wolverine out as well. Meanwhile, back in Wakanda, the Black Panther is overseeing the creation of a giant mecha, which he will presumably use to fight Godzilla, and also, this being Wakanda, I am assuming the thing is made entirely out of vibranium. Apparently, he's also located Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, and had him brought here. And apparently he's gonna give him something to use to fight Godzilla. Though, Shuri has doubts on whether this will do more harm than good. Nightcrawler then has the brilliant idea to have Godzilla inhale hot sauce. And Cyclops, going along with it, fires a laser at a giant barrel of hot sauce. And, well, it got a reaction out of him, just maybe not the intended one. Yeah, compared to Deadpool and Punisher Destroys the Marvel Universe, this one's definitely a lot more comedic and lighthearted. I don't even think Godzilla's killed anyone yet. Well, outside of the random demons in the Astral Plane, apparently. As Professor S is seeing into Godzilla's mind trying to reason with him, he comes to the not really shocking realization that Godzilla is practically pure evil and that there is no reasoning with the force of nature. Meanwhile, Godzilla's almost giving this smirk to him, like, yeah, I'm all that. Still not as bad as when he read Deadpool's mind and died of sheer aneurysm shock because he couldn't handle fourth wall awareness. Black Panther then contacts the X-Men, telling them that he has a plan to bring down Godzilla for good, and he needs them to lure Godzilla to Wakanda. Meanwhile, the X-Men help Gambit launch a bunch of giant playing cards at Godzilla, but all it does is just cause Godzilla to step back, crushing Wolverine's bar. Professor X then uses his telepathy to send a message Godzilla, telling him to go to Wakanda, and that the Black Panther is challenging him to a showdown. Okay, I guess Godzilla just somehow knows where Wakanda is. And Dormammu still thinks that he's an agent of Doctor Strange. Get with the program. We close out the issue with Bruce Banner arriving in Wakanda, being given a box full of Pym particles, as well as a giant axe and hammer made out of vibranium, and their plan is to apparently have the Hulk grow to Godzilla size and use these vibranium-made weapons to kill Godzilla, with the next issue promising a fight between giant-sized Hulk and Godzilla. Well, Death Battle already did a hypothetical fight between these two, but now we're gonna get a more canon fight between the two. Though I do want to remind you that there's still gonna be one more issue after issue 4. Though I guess it all ultimately comes down to when exactly in issue 4 the fight between Hulk and Godzilla begins. If it starts like right near the end of the issue, or if it starts relatively close to the start of the issue. The fight might not go that well in Hulk's favor, given that Godzilla still has one more issue to kick ass. I know a Hulk versus Godzilla matchup is like one of the most hyped fights in all of fiction, so I'm certainly excited to see how this will go, given that we didn't really get a fight in the actual Godzilla versus Hulk comic that came out earlier this year. Join me next time for when that starts off. Hope you take care, folks.